Right.
If your scholarship is worth $75,000 at Vanderbilt, they don't want to pay 28% tax on that.
To the average
So they
player,
don't want to be employed.
To the average player who's not making a lot of money, that is a big deal. So.
But if we're talking about revenue sharing where they're all going to be making a lot more money, it's like I'm going to make more even taking the taxes out, unless you're a little guy.
Yeah, well, that's
and there are a lot of those.
Yes.
See, that's the flip side.
That's another interesting risk.
Yes.
Hell, we want to be employees. And I mean, you got groups that are going around trying to unionize at different schools.
Was it Dartmouth?
At Dartmouth, I think Northwestern tried at one point.
Yeah.
It is another fracture point that some of these kids are like, yeah, I want $1 million a year. Tax me all you want. And somebody who's not getting that would be like, I don't want to be taxed on my $75,000 scholarship.
Well, that's like
that's
talked about hitting the lottery. The $1 million turns into what? Turns into $650,000.
Yeah.
Folks, be sure to visit at SportSource Digital Network on YouTube. Today, you'll find Super Bowl picks. You'll find Super Bowl prop bets. You'll find the best Super Bowl performances by former Vols. You also see those other shows down there. We got like 16 shows already up, more than 8.5 hours of content. There's another one coming up tomorrow that you just saw a tease for where we take your questions, took 8 of your questions that you've sent me, and we had Jimmy Himes, Chuck Cavaliers, Ryan Callahan, and myself answer them for you. It took about an hour. Extra content, bonus content for free on our second YouTube channel. Find it right there, SportSource Digital Network. Check it out and subscribe. Tell a friend. All right, take a look here. The Athletic this week ranked SEC teams after the portal. They ranked them as the rosters rising, rosters neutral, rosters falling. 4 teams were in the falling category: Arkansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Not a great look, but the writers sum it up this way. Josh Heupel chose to concentrate on high school recruits with a class that ranked number 11. So it will be a younger roster this year and less proven, but not a major step back. It might not even be a step back at all, especially if quarterback Nico Iamaleava improves. Agree or disagree?
I'm going to agree 100%. Yeah, your roster is falling, and you lost 2 guys on your defensive line that could potentially be first-round draft picks. One of them for sure.
Oh, you're agreeing with the fact it's falling, not with the fact that it might not be
I'm
a
agreeing
step
that it's falling.
Okay.
You lost the SEC Offensive Player of the Year out of your backfield. You lost offensive linemen that you don't know if you're going to be able to replace. So I think both things can be true. Yeah, your roster is falling, but when you get to next September and October, it may not make a difference depending on the guys who we haven't seen a lot of, how good they are. So I agree. Yeah, it's falling as of right now.
I didn't make my question clear enough. That was right. You were correct. All I needed to know was, do you agree or disagree that it might not matter? I think the roster is clearly declining. Do you agree that these guys are saying, if Nico takes a step forward, it doesn't even matter?
As of February 9th, this is just a checkpoint part of the offseason.
It is February 9th.
Yeah, it is falling. To all the things that Haji just brought up, it's all about the quarterback. And I think sitting here waiting right now to ask, will Nico continue to improve on a 3-to-1 touchdown-to-interception ratio? Will Star Thomas coming in, spending a significant amount of money from Duke to bring him in, and you know your defense is going to take a small step back. So at this point in time, yeah, I think it is slipping.
Well, okay, but
maybe on the more positive
side. You also agree that it may not matter. That's what that's the part we're agreeing.
Nico is the largest question mark, and you're right. If 8 doesn't improve, this is all from a moot.
This is where the host producer doesn't ask a proper question. Go ahead.
I agree that it might not matter. I know they lost a ton in the transfer portal. Some of those guys maybe aren't ones who really truly contributed. Like Squirrel White didn't play the best that he could this year. Cam Seldon left. He didn't really do much. You thought he really would, but you kept Mike Matthews. You've got Deshaun Bishop. You've got Peyton Lewis in the backfield that could really be big contributors. This was a huge test for Nico this season. I know it feels like he's been with the program for like 5 years now because he early enrolled, but I think if those guys perform, it might not matter that the roster is falling and they didn't recruit as competitively maybe as in years past, but I think if Nico can at least, like you said, a 3-to-1, get a little closer to that, it might not matter.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Thank you, guys. Sorry for the muddled question.
No, it's a great question.
I gave you 2 parts. No, I gave you guys 2 parts, and I should have emphasized now we're only debating the second part. But I didn't do that.
Live and learn.
I failed you all. All right. When we come back, have coaches figured out the right way to stop faking injuries? I'll tell you what their plan is and whether or not it'll work. Come on back.